Episode 68 of Just a Tech was recorded on Friday the 30th of March 2012. Coming up in today's episode, Research in Motion, Google Campus, Solar PV, and guest presenter Eoghan O'Neill will be talking to us all about doorbells. So stay tuned, Just the Tech is on its way. Hello and welcome to episode 68 of Just the Tech. I'm Jason Slater, and I'll be with you for the next 10 to 15 minutes as we take a little walk through the latest happenings in and around the technology industry. And first up, let's talk about RIM, Research in Motion. Reports are coming in from the big news sites today that apparently RIM, makers of the popular BlackBerry smartphone, are to pull out of the consumer market and refocus their efforts back on the enterprise. There isn't any official announcement on the RIM site just yet, but I have to say, if this is true, then a great big hooray is coming from me, as I felt that the enterprise is where RIM should always have focused its attention. Hopefully, following the recent media hunt against RIM, this will put some confidence back into the company, particularly from the enterprise angle, and the company can start to focus again its attention on things like enterprise management. Some are saying that RIM couldn't really come back from this, but let's face it, Nokia are starting to do well again, after losing their way for a while. So if they can do it from almost a standing start, then RIM can certainly do it with a tool that emerged from the enterprise initially. Now yesterday saw the opening of Google Campus by the UK Chancellor George Osborne, and the campus, which stretches over 7 stories, is designed to help UK technology startups by providing office space, events and direct assistance from Google, and there's also a very nice cafe with a tweeting plant. The campus is located at 4-5 Barnhill Street in London, part of the Silicon Roundabout. And I even walked past the place last week whilst at a Microsoft Azure event. The campus is also backed by a number of founding partners, including Tech Hub, who focus on tech startups, Seed Camp, who are an early stage investment and mentoring program, and Central Working, which is a members-based co-working club. Several other associated partners include Codec, Springboard and Startup Weekend. We'll be taking another look at Google Campus and keeping an eye on some of the startups that appear there. So keep listening to Just the Tech and watch out on the blog for more stories about Google Campus coming up. What I'd like to talk about today is to talk a little bit about solar PV. And this is solar photovoltaic energy panels, which should, in theory, allow us to generate our own electricity from the power of the sun, would you believe it, and to use that energy in our homes, and feed any excess energy back into the electric grid to gain some additional income from the grid and also via the government's feed-in tariff. We do need to remember, though, that any direct savings or income from this kind of system will probably need to be offset against any additional running costs of the panels, such as annual maintenance and cleaning, and yes, the panels do need to be kept grime-free for optimum performance, and climbing up onto your roof at home isn't the easiest thing to do. And of course a solar PV warranty will be required in case a fault occurs, and the worst thing would be to invest an awful lot of money, and it is quite expensive, in a system like this, only for it to break down after a few years, and any savings or income that have been earned could be swallowed up with costly repair bills. So a good warranty will almost be mandatory in my opinion. Now we see these panels on rooftops, some of my neighbours have got them, and admittedly they are a bit of an eyesore at the moment, but does that really matter? After all, what does define an eyesore? Over time we'll probably just get used to it. It's a bit like those satellite dishes. People were up in arms against them when they first came out, saying, oh, they're terrible, they're a terrible eyesore. But nowadays they're in almost every house you see. And so they become pretty much part of the outdoors landscape. But the installation of the solar panels on the roof isn't the end of the story, as the system also needs an inverter to convert the collected electricity from DC to AC, which is something we can use in our home. And we'll also need a generation meter so that we can calculate the actual kilowatt hours of energy produced, which is used for the basis of any money we may save or get back. And together with these will be quite a bit of cabling, and presumably some kind of home monitor, for example the Sunny Beam monitor, so we don't have to trek all the way to the loft, garage or wherever the hardware is installed just to find out what our reading is. Fortunately, things like the Sunny Beam monitor are wireless, so there isn't any additional wiring on the remote monitors. The idea of mounting a solar panel on a rooftop seems to be on the increase. However, people seem generally split as to whether they're a benefit or a passing fad and eyesore, and there seems to be very little in the way of middle ground. You get the pro-solar PV people who are 100% for it, whilst others seem dead set against it. So what do you think? Do you have solar PV installed? And if so, has it delivered on its promise? Get in touch and let me know. jtt@jasonslater.co.uk. And now, on to an interesting story from guest presenter Eoghan O'Neill, who's going to talk to us about doorbells. Over to you, Eoghan.
I'm going to talk to you a little bit about doorbells, which are possibly either the most boring or the most annoying thing ever known to man. Well, I'm here to change it all. Well, not me personally, but I'm going to tell you about the MP3 DJ doorbell, and it lets you change your doorbell from the boring standard old ding dong or bzzz to any song you want. So if you've got a favourite song, you can upload this onto your MP3 DJ doorbell, and when someone presses it, it'll come on. Now, I don't know if this is a great idea, because I don't know if anyone has used their favourite song as their alarm in the morning and it ends up ruining the song for you. That's happened to me a few times, and I've gone through a few songs. You'd think I'd learn my lesson. I'm not sure. Maybe this could happen with your DJ doorbell. I suppose the doorbell ringing isn't quite as bad an experience as getting up is, so you have that in the positives for the MP3 DJ doorbell. But I suppose it does give you the option for some kind of practical jokes. I suppose if your best friend's coming and you could upload the Star Wars theme tune or something, and when he presses the bell and walks through the door, it'll be like do 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 do, which I think would be great. Also, I suppose if you're, I don't know, in-laws or something, or someone you hate is coming, you could line up Jaws theme tune. I don't know if they'd see the joke, but you never know. Let's see how it works. The MP3 DJ doorbell, it includes a doorbell unit. You just stick it to your wall with some tape, and on its back you have a speaker unit that you can mount anywhere in the house, and the two components communicate wirelessly, as everything does these days, and can talk to each other from a distance of up to 330 feet. So if you've got a mansion and you want to stick it in your mansion and have the speaker wirelessly out the back, you can do that too. You also have the option of adding an SD card to store songs, and the speaker can connect to a computer via USB, so you can move songs back and forth. So it also comes with the software that lets you do that, and you can edit the songs down to the snippet that you like. So if there's a particular part of the song that you like and you don't want to go through the whole intro, you can just pick that little part, and you can get it from www.swan.com. It's made by Swan, and they specialise in advanced security. So this is one of their more friendly based products. It's not an alarm, it's a doorbell. So there you go, and you can have a customised doorbell all to yourself in no time at all.
Thanks for that, Eoghan. Now that's all we've got time for in today's episode. Today's show notes can be found on my website at jasonslater.co.uk/audio. And you can get in touch about the show at justthetech@jasonslater.co.uk. Thank you for listening. I do hope you'll join me again for Just the Tech. Until then, happy teching. Bye.